Good morning. I wish a lot of you were like me. They say that whatever you are when you're younger, that's what happens. You become more so when you get older. Well, it doesn't take much to make me happy. Sure, I want everything like everyone else, but I can make my bad moods disappear with something beautiful, a little music, some art, friendship, whatever. And I am grateful. Grateful to be out of that mood. Doesn't mean I'm not serious. I'm serious about our world and what I see. And I'm not pleased. I want to be able to say that when I look out at our world, all of it, not just across the street, which is beautiful and wonderful, and a couple of blocks away, but when I look out at the world and I read the papers, I'm in dismay. Russia is still bombing civilian populations in Ukraine. Yes, the Ukrainians have crossed over the river, and the Russians really don't have all the territory that they had before. But the people are still suffering. And it makes maybe one column in The Guardian, where it used to take up many columns. Why? Because now we've got the war in Gaza. And we've got anti-Semitism. That age-old, oh yeah, when we don't hate everyone else, we can hate the Jews. It's back again, just like it was in the 30s. When we marched on Washington, it wasn't like when we marched for civil rights, or when I am active for Rikers, or everyone else's cause. Nobody marched with us. We marched pretty much alone. Don't we do enough in this world? We're such a minor part of the population. Sure, we've got a big footprint, and Israel has decided never again. Have they always done the right thing? No, but neither have the Palestinians or the Arab nations. There can't be a ceasefire. Israel is trying very hard to wipe out Hamas once and for all. It's going to mean, unfortunately, that there is collateral damage unless the human shields that Hamas wants there for their protection go south. And then what? The refugees will need another place to go. There'll still be a lot of wealthy Palestinians untouched in Gaza and existing quite fine, even though all of this carnage is taking place. Hamas should never have been in the hospitals. There never should have been anti-missile trajectories next to playgrounds in schools. Nobody cared. As long as one part of Gaza was secure, they didn't care about the 50% that were starving. That's kind of like what's happening all over the world. It seems like as long as one portion of the population has exactly what they need, they don't care about the rest of the people. That's happening right here in America. People at Starbucks labor is overwhelmed. They say it's really wonderful for the brand to give away free coffee or a mug. But when they do that, they don't staff the Starbucks accordingly, because then the Starbucks people are overwhelmed. And so 25 Starbucks restaurants, there's a strike going on now. The labor has walked out for better staffing, better wages, benefits. And that's happening everywhere in this country. People are not making enough money to survive and thrive. In New Orleans, some of the mega churches and parishes have decided they can't rely on their government anymore. Because when they have blackouts, it could be 10 days without air conditioning, without refrigeration for medication. And so now places that people trust are going 100% solar. In this way, they can have their medications maintained for them. They could go to the church. The church turns into a resilience place where it's dormitories for everyone, and they can wait out the storm and wait out the time it takes for the regular grid to go back online and sustain their lives. This is America. This is America, and we're not taking care of our people. And that's why we've got the divisions we have. Sure, you can look at the Democratic Party, you can look at the Republican Party, and it probably is not going to be Donald Trump in the Republican Party. It may well be Nikki Haley. But I gotta tell you, the hedge fund guys are the ones who are going to propel Nikki Haley into the presidency, if it happens at all, because she's looking good to big business. And that's all that counts. For some reason, we're equating capitalism with democracy. It's not so. We're a republic. And if we want to have a sustainable middle class, which we don't have anymore, we're going to need to choose a president who really represents the middle class, the working people, someone who makes everyone's life better. Because when you're going to the NLRB now, you really can't get justice. The NLRB is underfunded. So who is going to help the unions? Who is going to help you unionize without a strong NLRB? If it's going to be the battle of the billionaires for the presidency, well, there's got to be one that will do what's right for the people. Unless, of course, you guys in the middle, the pragmatists, start stepping up and looking at what's happening for 2024 and looking at it seriously. Guess what? You're going to get what you don't want. You will get Nikki Haley or Donald Trump. And that may be the last election we ever have. I'm convinced of it. It's not something I want to play around with. I like free, fair elections. I believe everyone who hasn't voted should indeed vote. I'm relying on young people And young people can be anybody to vote, and vote strongly for a candidate that you think is going to give you better working conditions and benefits and strengthen the middle class. And go after big business. They're the low-hanging fruit for revenue. All you gotta do is be creative. I know how to take care of it. I could raise trillions in a nanosecond. It's easy. We cannot get bogged down with squabbling among ourselves, looking at the other guy, and not looking at the big picture, which is we need antitrust in this country. We need accountable business. We need a control of our own data. And we got to stop the hatred, stop the violence, stop the murders, stop the deaths of despair, and look at the beauty around us. We can do it if we decide we love life more than we want to accept death. And I just learned today that someone who I know well is in the Israeli Army Reserves, and he's been called up. He is now a professor at Technion. And he says they're going to win, and I know Israel will win. And then it's plan B, the peace. Because there's going to be an experiment in Gaza that's never happened before. One way or another, the terrorism will stop. The corruption will have to taper off. And the education and the people and the classism, it'll all have to stop, and people will have to come together. They will have to come together to build a society. Because if it is, like everyone says, that we're all people and we all want the same things, a good home for our children, an education and work, and the ability to see the world, well, by golly, that will be new for an Arab nation. And it will take time, but it is absolutely doable. Just like there are people in this world who only see nihilism, I only see life. And if you see the world the way I do, well then, we can fix this world. We could make it so it really is the paradise on earth that it can be. But we gotta work hard together, folks, and not close our eyes to the reality confronting us. Thank you for listening, and take care.